Hello everyone, it's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. We talk about movies and TV on this show. That's what we do here, what I do here. I could have been a mathematician, but instead I talk movies. But good, dear old mom's proud of me. Okay. Before we begin with the movie today, if you saw the title, you'll know what it is. A couple quick things. I saw the Cruella trailer and the Mortal Kombat trailer. Both of them, I'm here for it. Cruella surprisingly looks kind of dope. It looks kind of like Joker, but the Disney version. Still don't know how they're going to do an origin story about a character like Cruella de Vil for obvious reasons, but I'm into it, and I think Emma Stone will kill it. She always does. And then Mortal Kombat, finally we have a Mortal Kombat movie that's going to be faithful to the games in that it's going to be gory as a slaughterhouse, which is what you need for Mortal Kombat. Not every movie needs violence, but Mortal Kombat certainly does, if you know the video games. It also just, the trailer looked dope. I'm really excited. And also, I will be reviewing them for sure. I also have some announcements, but I'm going to save them for after the show. I'm going to make you guys wait for it. I know that not a lot of people are watching. Okay! So, today, this movie actually premiered at Sundance. I also feel like I should clarify my criteria. So, this also goes to another movie I've seen this weekend. Some people have this on the list of best movies of 2020 on the basis of the fact that I guess it premiered at some festivals of 2020. Here's the thing. My criteria goes as such. If it premiered in select theaters the previous year, I will wait to add them to my list until I see them. So, if it's something like, say, like in 2019, 1917, I had to see it in 2020, but it was a movie that I wouldn't be on my list. It would be on my 2019 list because it came out Christmas Day in a handful of theaters. Same with this year with One Night in Miami. But if it didn't get a theatrical release until this year, even if it premiered at festivals a year or 2 years ago, like St. Maud, for instance, or premiered in theaters outside the U.S., like St. Maud. St. Maud will be on my 2021 list, not my 2020 list, or my 2019 list, even though it premiered at TIFF in 2019, and it premiered in UK theaters in 2020. It did not come to our neck of the woods until 2021, January 29th, to be specific, so it does not count toward my list of last year. Same with the movie I will talk about at the end here, which I'm seeing soon. But we're not talking about those movies right now. We're talking about this movie, which I just watched. I had to give in a little bit. I wanted to see this in the theater. We're here in the St. Louis metro area, which means a lot of snow. The snow is dying down, but a combination of that plus vehicular-related issues meant I couldn't get out to the theater to see this one, so I had to kind of lay on my sword. And I'm sorry to the filmmakers of this movie, because I should have seen it in the theater. Sorry to AMC Theaters. I watched it on HBO Max. It's part of the Warner Brothers deal. I'm sorry. I had no other option. I really wanted to see this movie to get a review out to you guys. So, that movie is, without further ado, only got 15 minutes here. That movie is Judas and the Black Messiah. Judas and the Black Messiah is directed by this guy, Shaka King, who has directed a lot of television work. This is his second feature film. His first feature film I have not seen, but now I'm honestly interested because did a good job. That previous movie is called Newly Weeds. It's I think in 2014, 2013. I haven't seen it. I'm a little bit interested now though. But he also has directed episodes of shows I have seen, like Shrill, which I mentioned I might do a review of the final season, and People of Earth. This movie's also produced by Ryan Coogler, and it's written by many people, among them the Lucas brothers, Keith and Kenny, who are actually comedic writers and actors. They did a short-lived but very funny cartoon called Lucas Brothers Moving Company. They also they had co-starring roles in like 22 Jump Street. They had a small bit. They also were cast members, and some of their co-cast members are in this movie. In the series, it was a very short-lived skit show, but it was quite funny, called Friends of the People. And they were both in that, and they were both, I guess, writers and producers on it. They're part of that, I guess it was like a comedy troupe who did a skit show, in much the same way Dress Up Gang did. So they're the ones involved in the production. Ryan Coogler, of course, behind Creed, Fruitvale Station, and Black Panther, a phenomenal filmmaker. And so this film is a good little addition to his filmography. This movie's great. So Judas and the Black Messiah is based on a true story, a very tragic true story that, yes, the biblical parallels in the title are well earned. And there are parallels. So the premise is, the Judas in question is William Bill O'Neill, who's played by Lakeith Stanfield, the great Lakeith Stanfield, who is... after trying to boost a car and posing as an FBI agent to do so, he's found by an actual FBI agent, played by Jesse Plemons, who's quickly becoming like the white Sam Jackson. He's in everything, and he's always the bad guy. Not like Sam Jackson always the bad guy, but he's always... Jesse Plemons is in a lot of movies, let's just put it at that. And so he says, alright, we have a mission for you. We want you, it's in Chicago, it's in the late 1960s, he says, we want to recruit you to infiltrate... the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party and ingratiate yourself with the chairman, also known by the code name the Black Messiah, Fred Hampton, who's played by the great Daniel Kaluuya. He forms a friendship with this guy, but much like Jesus and Judas Iscariot from the Bible, he will be... Certain factors in his investigation will lead, unfortunately, to the brutal and heartbreaking assassination by the FBI of the Black Messiah, Fred Hampton. This movie's great. Full of great actors, like I mentioned, including Jesse Plemons, but we also have, and Lakeith Stanfield, of course, but we also have people in there like Algie Smith, who showed up in a few things and is quite good. We have people, speaking of friends of the people, we have little bit parts from the likes of Lil Rel Howery, who's always good. We also have an appearance by Jermaine Fowler, who's quite good on the short-lived sitcom, but very good sitcom Superior Donuts. He also is on Friends of the People, and he's a writer on the current run of All That. He's great. He has a small part here, but he's quite memorable. We also have J. Edgar Hoover, who I didn't realize is played by an unrecognizable Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen, of course, the father of Charlie and Emilio Estevez. He's great in here, of course, as he always is. Fine actor. And playing a very... Let's just put it this way. If you like J. Edgar Hoover, you will not like this movie, because he really... On the basis of this movie, he was a really bad dude. Which he probably was. I believe a lot of this is true. So, this movie also has an interesting parallel with the movie from last year, that was on my best of list last year, which was Aaron Sorkin's The Trial of the Chicago 7, in that Fred Hampton appeared in that movie, working alongside Bobby Seale, who was of course, and they mention Bobby Seale in the movie. They mention the infamous moment in real life and in that depicted in that film where he was bound and gagged in the courtroom, simply on the basis of the fact that he very unfairly was not given proper legal counsel to defend himself, which was, evil. It's not fair. You shouldn't do that to anybody. No person deserves that. Nobody whatsoever. You are allowed as a right, as a citizen of this country, to have legal counsel, and not to represent yourself. They wouldn't let him do either, and it was BS. But they mentioned the assassination of Fred Hampton in Trial of Chicago 7, and he was played in that film by Kelvin Harrison Jr. And this is the event that was happening off-screen in Trial of Chicago 7. It's the focus of this film. This movie's fantastic. The score is great. The filmmaking is great. The cinematography, the script, the performances across the board are stellar. I do not have her name. I bet I could look it up, though. No, I don't have time. I'm sorry, miss. The actress who played Fred Hampton's, Fred Hampton's wife and the mother of his child, she's pregnant for the majority of the movie with his son, who I believe is named Fred Hampton Jr., who is now running a new, kind of like the revamped version. It's not by this name anymore, but the revamped version of the Illinois Black Panthers with his mother. The actress who plays her is great. There's a beautifully haunting, moving scene where the death of one of their own is intercut with her reading a poem she wrote for Fred, relating to their experiences in this movement. It was very moving. She's quite good in the film. my only minor flaw with, I guess, the film itself, because I basically loved this film, was I felt like maybe, as good as that actress was, the character maybe was a little bit underwritten, and I understand that this is really about the two of them. It's about, O'Neill and Hampton. It's disappointing because she really made the most of her scenes, but I think it's just, there's only so much you can do in a 2-hour movie, and I don't necessarily blame the movie for this, but there's a little bit underdeveloped that character, but she killed it. The actress who played her, I will look up your name, and in the next video I will give you credit, which will be very soon. But not much more to say here, you guys. We're almost up. Judas and the Black Messiah is a great movie. I can't emphasize it enough. And see it in the theater. Support these filmmakers. Don't. I did this for convenience purposes, similar to Wonder Woman, where my theater was closed when Wonder Woman came out. I couldn't get out for this one, but by God, please don't see this movie at home on HBO Max. I mean, if there's no other option, if your theater's closed, do. But if there is a theater near you and you feel it is safe to go, and you feel like, especially your area is, it has a higher vaccination rate or whatever, please go see this movie in the theater on the biggest screen you can. Support these filmmakers because it's beautiful art and it's made by a major studio, and this kind of art needs to be recognized. Judas and the Black Messiah, I'm gonna score you, and despite my minor quibbles with the underdevelopment of the wife character, it's not enough to keep you from getting the top of the heap, you guys. You're almost right way in consideration for my best of list. 5 out of 5 stars for Judas and the Black Messiah, and I'm not even doing that in a hyperbolic sense. I genuinely, this movie was great. It almost could make a perfect double bill with Spike Lee's BlacKkKlansman, or Trial of Chicago 7. This is a perfect companion to both those films in a lot of ways. This is great. This is an absolutely great film. Go watch it any way you can, but try your very hardest to see it in theaters, please. I know that it's easy for everyone, especially if you're high risk. I don't want to sound like I'm not promoting the fact that COVID is serious. It is a very serious thing. If you can't at all see it in the theater, that's fine, but watch it anyway. Watch it on HBO Max. Trust me, this movie's fantastic. Movie's a fantastic film. So, 5 stars. Trailer trash. There is a little bit, although, like I said, I didn't see it in theaters, there's no trailers, but the closest thing we get is the promo. It's like kind of like a sizzle reel of the movies that are coming out on HBO Max, things like Godzilla vs. Kong, the aforementioned Mortal Kombat, Tom and Jerry, whatnot, and this film. That's it. Was there shawarma? Not in the credits itself. Of course, they had like the epilogue text, but I don't consider that part of the credits. It's part of the film, so no on that front. Okay, I have 2 minutes. Before I go, some exciting announcements for you guys. So that closed the book on Judas by Messiah. It's great. So some announcements. I thought I was gonna have to stay in and use Hulu because I didn't know if our theater was getting this film, but it turns out we are. I got my tickets. Later tomorrow night. I might be a little late on Are You Afraid of the Dark? It will happen later tomorrow night, I promise you, but tomorrow I'm seeing 2 films in the theaters. The first one is one I didn't think I was going to see on the big screen, especially in this scale, because it's finally coming here. I'm going to go see tomorrow at 4:30, I'm going to go finally see Nomadland in IMAX. Which will again go toward my 2021 films. I know it's on a lot of 2020 lists, not mine, because it doesn't fit my specific criteria. But if I love it, like I'm sure I will, it will be. I'm also seeing the movie, not Nomadland, but Land, directed by Robin Wright. I mentioned in my trailer trash for The Marksman. I'm looking forward to that. And I have Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I'm also planning on Saturday doing SNL, of course, and a review of Disney Plus's Flora and Ulysses. And maybe some other, who knows what else is going to come very soon. That's about it for now. I'll see you guys very soon. Tomorrow night. And that'll be next time. And until next time, I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. I see it all. I'm happy to share it with you. Go see Judas and the Black Messiah. It's great. Thank you all.